And that makes a big difference over the long term as well, because
Big time.
this is the thing, language learning, if you cut through all the bullshit and you're not trying to just reach a superficial level of proficiency in a language, if you want to reach really high levels of proficiency in a language, you got to start thinking in terms of lifetime, years.
Yes,
You got to
yes.
start thinking in terms of years, right? And in that scenario, it's not so much what's the best study strategy, it's how can I just maintain consistency? Because this is the thing. Nothing will ever beat 10 years of consistent study and interaction with a language. Doesn't matter how effective your study strategy is over a period of a few months or 6 months. Nothing will ever beat that. So if you start playing the long game, everything shifts, and maybe it's not so much about what's the most effective study strategy, it's how can I maintain positive interactions with the language and positive experiences with the language. How can I make the language part of my daily life where I don't have to even think about maintaining the language. It's naturally maintained because I'm involved in it. This year, just recently, I've joined a Toastmasters club from Quebec. Do you know Toastmasters?
I heard a little bit about it. Why don't you tell me a little more?
Right. So Toastmasters is an international organization who try to help you develop your competency in public speaking and leadership. And I joined, I tried out a Toastmasters club at my university here in Melbourne. And on one of the meetings, I asked people who here speaks English as a second language. And everyone but me put their hand up. And I go, that gives me an idea. So then what I went and did is I did my research. I found out I wanted to find a francophone Toastmasters club where the time difference was appropriate. Turns
Hmm.
out Quebec, Canada was good for that. And then slowly but surely, what ends up happening is I end up attending a few of these sessions, and now I'm a member of a Toastmasters club in Quebec, Canada, which means once a week on a Friday morning, 11 a.m., I rock up and I'm part of this community of francophones who are all there to improve their communication skills.
Wow.
And so what I'm doing is I'm improving my communication skills through French, which means I'm part of a professional meeting. The whole meeting's in French. People are having to give speeches. You have to improvise. And one of the reasons I did that, beyond just wanting to improve my communication skills, particularly in French, and be able to deliver speeches in French and be kind of become used to professional environments in French, beyond all that, it was simply to have a regular contact with the French language.
Of course.
Mm.
Excellence. And this is actually where I was getting to. I wanted to talk about kind of like pre-motivation. We kind of covered that a little bit. Then we talked about making the habit and forming the habits. And what comes after that is how do you maintain long-term motivation? And I think maybe, when I was doing research for this interview, I would say that there were three things that I really, really related to on a personal level, but one was kind of
I'm
indirectly
curious to know what
related
they
to
are now.
you. This was one of them, right? Because this is a concept that I really haven't heard spoken about much in the language learning community.